As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be.
Oh man, it's 8 o'clock.
And so that'll make it a.
I don't need the spotlight. I shine just fine.
Hi, I'm Karma, and yes, I am a bitch.
Brav Bros. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Brav Bros, your favorite podcast from the bros for everybody. For whoever wants to listen, I am your co-host, Steele Russell, joined as always by the one and only Rosie Goots. What's up, dude?
Waiting for the last episode of the season to break that one out, huh?
I just thought of it right now, but yeah, sure. I've been keeping that one in the vault, in Heather Dubrov's vault.
Look, this is our second episode of the day. Everybody knows what that means.
Buckle up, baby.
Let's get weird.
Well, you know what? Since it's already like we're in that weird time, let me go ahead and just drop a bomb on everybody.
Oh boy.
Not, you know it. It's not like a funny thing. It's just like a real thing. So we you've made it weird. We thought that it was time to push the rebrand. We talked about it a long time ago. We didn't put it into play. We think it's time now because we've landed on a name that we actually like. It is something a little different, but the same, that allows us to branch out to other shows and not pigeonhole us into only Bravo. That being said, we will continue to cover as much Bravo as we currently cover. It will not change that part of it because we love Bravo and we'll never forget where we came from. But for those of you that don't follow us on social media, you didn't see the potential name change. Shoots, would you like to unveil what we are soon to unveil to the world? The new show name.
Well, we still have to work out. We just have to add in more merch. We still have T-shirts and hats and stuff that we need to make.
Yeah,
but yeah, we are gonna land on. Let's do a little drum roll here. Bros and shows.
Yes,
sounds like boats and hoes, and that's why we picked it. Let's not make this very complicated. We are very simple creatures. It reminded us of Step Brothers, boats and hoes, bros and shows. Works out perfectly for me.
It's that simple, really. We wanted something that flowed. It was originally Bros Watch Shows. I thought that was a little clunky. Bros and shows, boats and hoes. It just makes sense because we are simple, as Shooter said. That makes us happy, and it is pertaining to what we're going to be doing. It's the same show, everybody. It just allows us to cover more and give you more content. Change is scary, I understand. We will always be your Brav Bros, and we will continue to say Brav Bro and mention Brav Bros. But we are soon to be Bros and Shows with Shooter and Steele, and it's a new era. It's a new era, and we should be excited.
I'm going to change my entire personality for that show.
I don't think that's a good idea. I think we'll lose a lot of listeners.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of work.
You are currently known to way more people in the world as Shooter Magooter than your actual real name, which is one of my biggest successes, I think, is allowing for tens of thousands of people to know you as Shooter Magooter. Hundreds of thousands, honestly, because we have that many followers across platforms. That's incredible. That is one of my greatest life achievements, is to make that nickname worldwide. So you're welcome.
Mr. Worldwide.
You are Mr. Worldwide. Mr. Magooter Wide. Worldwide Magoots. That's your new name.
Worldwide Magoots is good. Yeah.
Worldwide Magoots. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about RHOC Part 3 and what I expected to be a good episode. Something that we could, finish off some topics, tie a bow on some things, turned into there's so much shit. I was pausing, rewinding. I was taking so many goddamn notes. It took me, and plus it was extended because they have that extra scene at the end, which wasn't necessary.
Yeah, right. Can we just talk about that right now?
Okay, fine. We can talk about the fact that this made Heather and Tamra look significantly worse, not better. This wasn't like the scene of like, look, we didn't know what to do with it. You guys sat on the fact that Johnny J heard the crash and didn't go help her for months, a half of a year, because you didn't know what to do with it, but you brought it out now, even after the reunion. You're bad friends. You're bad people.
This did not require cameras getting picked up for that scene.
No.
At all. Could have easily just been the classic black and white text on a black screen. Just tell us what happened. couple of days after filming the reunion, this happened. Okay, thank you. We don't need a whole fucking song and dance for this. They're getting to a point now where they're just picking up cameras for everything. We don't need it. It was so unnecessary.
You were worried about that the first time they did it.
Uh-huh.
Way back. You're like, I hope this doesn't become a recurring thing. It is now. This scene wasn't necessary. And again, all it did was paint Tamra and Heather in an even worse light, which they got away with it because Shannon's like, I'm surrounded by so much love right now, which is great. Glad you're feeling that way. But they just told you they withheld pretty substantial information from you for a long time.
I think that was a storyline for the entire goddamn season.
Yeah. Could have been wrapped up. You could have felt a lot better and had confirmation of, oh, wow, he did hear me. He is a huge piece of shit. But instead, your two quote unquote friends withheld this information because they were quote unquote unsure what to do with it. That doesn't make any sense.
Out to dinner with them. Yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah. What? Like, fuck that. Fuck that whole thing. I don't like it. I thought it was stupid. No need for a 36 hours later thing, but whatever.
Glad we didn't go to therapy at that point, by the
way. Thank you. Like, God damn it. God damn it. I'm glad we got this out of the way now.
Tamra going to therapy is just like Ashley and Michael on Potomac actually finalizing their divorce.
Getting their divorce.
Week, guys.
Next week. It's always next week. It's always next week. But now that we've wrapped that up, let's get into this episode because it is a lot. We got a lot to talk about. And it starts out where we left off last week with Shannon and Alexis. They're still going at it. You're a TV star, that whole thing. Alexis's approach, and it can be summed up fairly simply, is that she's dumb.
Yep.
She's not smart. And what she's doing, she contradicts herself constantly. She will put out information that immediately says something that goes against what she just said, such as, you're obsessed with us. You're the one pushing the Johnny J shit constantly. No one else wants to talk about it. No one else likes this guy. You've decided to be his mouthpiece for whatever reason, because he's probably got you thinking that you need to be. He's manipulated you to the point that you want to go speak on his behalf. But you're the one forcing this down our throat. You're the one constantly reminding Shannon about it. You bring it up time and time again. So she starts it out with this, and that sets the stage for everything else that they get into the entire time. And I'm so glad that Gina has had a great reunion, and she had a solid end of the season as well. She had a weird season. I was entertaining to watch because she just couldn't find her footing, but in a good way. But she came through in the reunion because she brings up a great point. She's like, there's always, and this is from a dinner scene previously, she's like, there's always somebody protecting this guy. Somebody's always going to bat for Johnny J, and it's usually a manipulated woman who's saying how good he is. And that's what I always say to people when it comes to stuff like this. If you constantly have to say things like you just don't know him, he's probably a piece of shit.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's very simple to put that. And I think that Gina may have actually, and a lot of the best way to explain Gina and what she does on this show is stumbling into things. That is pretty much what she does. She may have stumbled into what her role is supposed to be because nobody else on this cast is stepping up as a voice of reason. We thought that maybe we had that with Heather Dubrow. She obviously went over to Tamra. That immediately negates your position. And also, she's usually too good for everybody else anyway, so she can't be that person. No one else is really stepping up. Emily tries to do it here and now, but she is way too stuck in her own way and vindictive about things that happens that we don't even really know about or we're not privy to. And she's always trying to get some sort of retribution for some reason. Gina could be that person. There were multiple times throughout all three parts where Shannon, Tamra, even Emily looked over at Gina and said something, and Gina, what she put together was complete logic. We need somebody on all of these shows that can be the logical person, that isn't biased, that can just say, hey, yeah, no, that makes sense, or that makes no sense. That's what Gina can do. And a lot of times when you're talking about Johnny J and Alexis, all you really have to say is, yeah, no, that's fucking batshit crazy. That makes no sense. That dude is insane and he's manipulating you. Okay. Thanks, Gina.
That's all you have to say, but I'm glad that she pointed that part out. And I'm glad that we do break this whole thing down very pragmatically, because Alexis's whole thing is like, you keep attacking him. You attack him all the time. Andy is the one that points out last year, Shannon was up on the stage defending John ad nauseum. She's in the same spot that you're in now, and you're too stuck in your own ways, or you're too stuck to Johnny J to see that. You could actually take some notes here and be like, oh shit, this all seems kind of familiar to Shannon. Maybe I should be careful about my next steps. But no, she doesn't have any foresight. She's incapable of breaking the situation down and applying it to her own. But Shannon, this was such a good approach on her part, I thought, because she's like, all right, how did I attack him? Because all I've said is that I've paid for everything. And yeah, she's called him a monster and said some things like that, but I don't feel like that's attacking people, because I feel like everyone disparages everybody on these shows. So let's talk about tangible things. She said, I paid for everything, for which I have receipts. The counter to that is there's another lie, and all he's doing is defending himself. Emily butt out, which I was so glad that she decided to take a shot at the couch, because I knew that they were going to turn on her, because they already have been last episode. So that was a great moment, because I'm like, ooh, you just bit off way more than you can chew. You can't handle what's about to come your way. But she's like, we did some forensic accounting. He spent $350,000 on you throughout your relationship. Okay, fine. Let's buy this. All right, let's take Johnny J and Alexis Bellino at their word. Where's the receipts? Where's the receipts? Because if you showed Andy on the show and it got cut, which happens a lot, we get warnings about receipts and reunions, and they don't come to fruition because they usually don't land. Anytime you see a manila folder come out, they tend to not have the info in there that you're hoping for. But she went on Instagram and made that super long post. It was like 6 paragraphs long and she's claiming bad edit now, which is the new thing to do. Everyone claims bad edit. Tamra was claiming bad edit the other day as well. Anne-Marie was claiming bad edit. She's still to this day. Isn't that crazy? Anne-Marie, who's been out of the spotlight for so long, is still claiming bad edit. Like, just go away. You're done. But she's claiming bad edit, and she's claiming I have the proof. This could all be very simple for you, Alexis. If you are telling the truth, post it. That's it. And we'll shut the fuck up. If you're right, I'll even say it out loud. I'll say, she was right. She has the receipts. Just post them. Stop giving us cryptic messages on Instagram that aren't that cryptic, because you're very black and white. You don't know subtlety. Because we got something else. What was it, a week ago, 2 weeks ago? She's like, my truth hasn't been told. I'm going to do an Instagram live to tell my truth.
It was like 6 weeks ago at this point.
Hasn't happened.
Like, she still hasn't done it. She keeps talking about the truth coming out. She's like Karen with her DUI. The truth is going to prevail. What truth? What are you talking about? It's never going to happen. We also, and I can't stress this enough. A month. I can't stress this. A month. Yeah. 2 episodes.
Yeah, boy.
We don't give a fuck. This is a relationship. If everybody in a relationship starts adding things up and keeping track of things that they're spending, that would be insane. We understand how relationships work. Sometimes if you make more than your partner, or your partner makes more than you, they're going to spend a little bit more on you because they're doing things together. That is what being in love is supposed to be like. You're not thinking about the cost effectiveness of this, so nobody gives a shit. It doesn't matter. What Shannon is doing on the other side is just saying, well, you want 75 from me because you claimed that was a loan. Let me put together the things that I spent on you, and maybe we can make this all go away. If I can get 75, like, I assume this is how Shannon's brain is working. If I can get $75,000 worth of stuff that I bought you, maybe we can make it go away, and that'll be the end of it. Instead, we now have Alexis sitting there saying, well, let me just do everything here. We've got forensic accountants. How much did that cost? That's a waste of
$75,000.
Yeah, seriously, that's probably what it is. It's a waste of fucking money. Nobody gives a shit, and you're not suing her for that money. So it's a moot point. Nobody cares. Let's just fucking move forward. And everything out of Alexis's mouth is just horse shit. It's just dumb bullshit that nobody gives a shit about. And that's all she's been doing all season. I'm surprised that it took so long for the right side of the couch to even figure that out. But finally, they're fed up, and Emily fucking hates her. Heather's, whatever.
Tamra's over it.
Tamra's over it. Tamra had a very weird, dare I say, good reunion, because she didn't fucking talk. Aside from her and Shannon, she didn't do anything else. So
we'll give credit where credit's due. We always do.
Good reunion, Tamra.
Yeah, her sitting there and talking to Andy, like in between scenes, where he's like, do you see what happens when you just sit and listen? Like, you understand things. Yeah. Like, and that's the funniest part about Housewives, is like, even for Tamra, and we hate Tamra, everyone knows that, it's no secret. Sorry, Ryan. There's always a road back, and this shows you that. Like, there is a way back, and we have said, at the very least, she was a nightmare to deal with all season. She produced good TV. It went too far at times, sure, but she's here for a reason. We've always given her credit there. Do I see us ever coming around to be Team Tamra? Absolutely not. I don't think it's going to happen.
Never.
But there's always a way back, is my point. But they bring up the $75,000 again. And he's like, why not just take the offer? And this is the question I've wanted answered for the whole season. Why didn't you just say yes to this? And it's about the non-disparagement clause, but we don't get to that yet. Her first sticking point was, well, she offered $15,000 over 3 years or 4 years, whatever the payment plan was. It's like, okay, would you have gotten your money? Is there an interest rate? Maybe you end up making a little bit more money. Like, what's your point? This seems like if this is in fact a loan, then the standard for a loan is a payment plan. So that's not damning evidence. She didn't offer him $15,000, period. She offered him $15,000 a year. He's making $15,000 for doing nothing but being a fucking asshole and putting her up against the wall. It's either you pay me, it's blackmail, and it's fucking extortion. He's putting her up against the wall and saying either pay me or pay the legal fees. It's a lose-lose for her. So she offered a way out. He said no because of the fucking non-disparagement thing. And Tamra brings it up, well, if it was a loan or you say it wasn't a loan, why are you paying him back? Because of the fucking legal fees. That's going to cost way more. It's not worth it. Just pay this man and let him go away. And that was the funniest thing. I won't drag Tamra for this because she did say, oh, okay, got it. And didn't get into it more because she was also one of the people during the season that was like, just pay it, be done with it. So for her to question it, I'm glad she didn't take it further. She was like, oh, okay, cool. Let's move on. No shade. I don't have any shade to throw there. But speaking of shade, Andy starts pointing out all the shade that was being thrown around in Alexis's posts. And this is kind of the sentiment of the whole group throughout this episode is you want to point the finger at Shannon for stirring the pot, for being quote unquote obsessed with John, for forcing the situation down everyone's throat. But you do things like posting a picture of the lemons. You get that scene from before with Shannon and David Bador with the lemons. And then there needs to be 9 lemons in the bowl at all time. That's clearly a dig. He's wearing the Ferragamo shoes for the engagement photo. That's clearly a choice. There's no way that John Jansen put on his Ferragamos that Shannon bought for him and didn't realize it. And if he didn't, he definitely looked at the picture and went, oh shit, those are the same shoes. Fuck yeah, let's post this. You guys were calculated in everything you were doing and you weren't doing yourself any favors. You say that your goal was not to be vindictive. Your goal was just to fall in love with this guy and sail off into the sunset. And Shannon was throwing a wrench into this whole thing. But that makes no sense based upon your actions and how you've acted this entire season. And it can be stuff that's as petty as posting lemons, as posting a pair of shoes. And I didn't even think about, I was so caught up in just John Jansen's an asshole and Alexis sucks that I didn't think further into it of the fact that Shannon did have a relationship with this guy for 5 years. It's a serious relationship. And what Alexis is doing in speaking on their relationship and what they did or did not have, them being Shannon and John, is minimizing this entire thing. She's had no time to mourn the loss of this relationship, which it's a good thing in the end, Shannon. You're away from this fucking guy and he's occupied.
Forces you to get over it a lot faster.
Definitely. So it probably was all for the best. But at the same time, you're not giving any credit to the fact that they were very seriously together for a very long amount of time. But to further that point of they're just throwing stones wherever they can is regardless of what Shannon says. It doesn't matter if she's got evidence to it. It doesn't matter if it's a reasonable point. It doesn't matter if it has nothing to do with like John and Alexis specifically. It can just be about the overall bullshit going on. No matter what comes out of her mouth, Alexis's response every single time is, you're a liar. You're a liar. You're a liar. You're a liar. At some point, she's going to speak the truth. Maybe, just maybe, Johnny J has pulled the wool over your eyes and you're not seeing this whole thing clearly because you're not intelligent. And everything Shannon's saying is true, but you are in this fucked up relationship with this fucked up dude. And now you can't see through the bullshit. Not that I think she could anyway, because again, not the brightest bulb, but that's all I'm getting. All I'm getting is her being defensive because everything Shannon's pointing out. I believe Shannon. I believe Shannon.
Yeah, I believe Shannon. Shannon went through a 5-year relationship with him. The telltale sign here about Alexis and what she thinks of Shannon is her attacking Shannon's vision of what the relationship was. They were together for 5 years. You've been together for a hot fucking minute.
9 months.
You do not get to diminish what she had to go through and say, well, was it even like a real relationship? Because it's not what we have. It was fucking more than what you have. They were together for a longer period of time. I'm sure they talked about getting married. I'm sure there were other steps thrown in there, but it was so toxic that they were never able to get through any of that. We have so much video evidence of this over the years, and I'm sure Alexis was watching the show because she's fucking obsessed with reality TV and she wishes that she was on it. She knows what happened. She's just downplaying all of it and saying that, you know, at the end of the day, I won because I got your boyfriend. That's what she said in the first episode. That's still her sentiment now. And we're all looking at you like a fucking loser because you're stuck with him, because you chose to be with him, because you're fighting his battles and being his mouthpiece on this reunion set. And yeah, I know we do get clips of his fucking confessional, which is disgusting. I fucking despise that Bravo even did that. But still, this is where you are. This is where you have been the whole season. You're obsessed. You are absolutely obsessed with Shannon and her idea of what that relationship was. And you're happy that you got him and you think that you won. So everything that you're doing is just mouth service to that. And we don't care. We just do not care. We know that you're a loser. We know that he's a piece of shit. And you furthering this just completely confirms all of our suspicions that you're an idiot that got stuck in this. And you're going to be in fucking hell for the next couple of years too. Because it's going to happen to you too. Yeah.
Like, that's the best way to put it, is just watching this whole thing transpire. The lack of any kind of compassion for what happened, even if you hate Shannon, to not recognize, like, oh, she was in a serious relationship with this guy for a while.
Yep.
And you minimize it by saying things like they were friends with benefits when the timeline doesn't add up, which it doesn't add up, because we get to that stupid ass Johnny J confessional. And he's like, look, I was single for a year before I met Alexis. And Shannon's face her jaw drops. She's like, what the hell? Yep. Because we can go through the timeline if you want to, because that happened. They broke up in November, I guess. And then they got back together April of the following year. So that's 2023 is when they got together. And it ended 10 days after the DUI, which, if we remember correctly, and Shannon points it out, Johnny J took care of her post DUI. They were still involved. They broke up 10 days after the fact, which lines up the timeline with you guys met or started this thing 2 months after, not a year after. So immediately John shows you who he is. And the way that he's talking in the confessional is so clearly scripted. He wrote this shit down verbatim, and it really stands out later with his comments. I'll save it for then. But this guy came in here with an agenda. He's like, here's my chance. This is why I didn't sign that non-disparagement clause, was so that I could save these moments for a confessional at the end of the season and stand up for myself. But you immediately discredit yourself because you lied instantly, and we have the fucking proof. Why people on these shows choose to lie when we see it, not like see it through the grapevine or hear it from somebody. We literally watch these fucking shows religiously, so we know the timeline. Just cop to it. Just say, yeah, we got together shortly thereafter. I know how it looks. It looks like I'm clamoring to get back in the spotlight because I'm a huge douchebag that needs attention. And deny that part of it. But don't deny the timeline, because that doesn't make any goddamn sense. And it just further points to the fact that you're both big pieces of shit.
It further proves that you want the non-disparagement because you knew it's not that you were worried that Shannon was going to talk about it the entire fucking season. She's not going to. That is what a non-disparagement contract is. Of course she's not going to, because legally she's not allowed to. And by the way, we've talked about this all season. If Alexis wasn't there, aside from the first 2 episodes of, oh yeah, did you see that Alexis is dating Johnny J? Yeah, I saw that. We wouldn't talk about it because Shannon had enough going on. So yes, you throw in a legal thing, she's definitely not going to talk about it. It's because you dumbasses wanted to make this a storyline, and it fell flat on its face as soon as she came out of the fucking door. She had all of these prepared signs and all these little things that she was going to say to Shannon and try to get the audience to go, and she's going to team up with Tamra and all that bullshit. It didn't fucking work. It was awful. The best parts of the season were the episodes that Alexis wasn't there, because we didn't have to deal with that. London was good because it faced everybody to talk about all the other things that are going on in the season. We don't have to worry about Alexis because she's not fucking there, and we don't want to talk about it because you're annoying. You're the worst.
You're irrelevant.
Yeah.
Like, you are absolutely irrelevant. And you are, as Emily points out, the dumbest fucking girl I've ever met. Like, that's what Emily says, because she calls Emily Tweedledee and Tweedledum. And she's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And we can say that Emily's had a bad showing. Yeah. And look, at the end of the day, I will probably still root for Emily down the road because I've always liked Emily. But you can't call her dumb. She's not dumb. She's by no means dumb. And the funniest part is she's like, I have a degree. And Alexa's like, well, I also have a degree. Do you know how many fucking idiots I know that graduated from college?
Yep.
There's a lot.
Tina said too.
There's a lot. Like, I think we all know people that graduated with a degree, and you're like, I don't know how you got there, but it's like Tommy Boy. You know, a lot of people go to college for 7 years.
College isn't that hard. It's just expensive.
Yes. You pay for a piece of paper. Again, don't know what my associate's degree is in, everybody. I majored in baseball.
Sports.
But you start to see the couch turn on her, and you get little side comments, and Tamra announces, we're just socially friends. She's now at the point with Alexis where, like if I'm in public, I talk to her, but other than that, it's not much deeper. To further our point, Alexis, I mean, this is the best part. No one has to do anything. Just let Alexis keep going and stop interjecting. And she has to go to Andy. Can you tell them to stop picking on me? You got to deal with it. This is what reunions are. And by the way, this isn't even that bad. We've seen much worse. So you can grin and bear it. You put yourself in this position. Now you got to reap the benefits or lack thereof. But she's trying to get some defense. Tamra's turning on you. Emily's clearly out, but she's been out for a while. And she keeps digging this hole of shit that we do not care about. You bring up the trainer again. No one fucking cares. Shannon does not care that you stole her trainer and went to a different gym. What that tells me is that trainer probably got fired or something weird happened because you kept bringing up Shannon and it got conflict of interesty and you bounced and he bounced too. That's all that is. And again, Shannon doesn't give a fuck. No one there gives a fuck. None of us at home are going, oh shit.
You got her there.
Bomb. Yeah, you got her trainer. It wasn't that deep. Like no one gives a shit. I forgot about the trainer thing until she brought it up.
Because it was irrelevant. Nobody gave a shit.
It's not a sticking point.
None of it is. Everything that Alexis has been trying to do is not a sticking point. And her being dumb is just her convincing herself that these are huge bombs that everybody's going to react to. And nobody did. Nobody cared. We just wanted you off of our screen. We wanted to just get back to what actually mattered because we knew what you were doing right away. And you bringing up the trainer, you bringing up all the money, you bringing up the relationships, like it's just fucking pointless. Like we don't care. And you know that you're going to get fired too. You have that about you. We saw that when they were going to London and you weren't invited. And then you got all upset and you had Katie and Jen come over and you kicked them out of your house, which was the only good thing that you did the entire season because it was funny.
It was still fucking fake.
And it was still fucking fake. But otherwise, that's all you did. And that's all you could do because you had one thing to do the entire time. And you deservedly got fired. Everybody's reporting out there that Alexis is gone. So
she should be. You didn't do enough to garner.
You didn't do anything.
No, you absolutely.
You would think a TV star, a reality TV star who's been on 15 fucking shows for 15 years would know how to do something. You didn't. But you didn't learn anything.
The shows do her no favors either because all it does is lead to more questions of because somebody from the audience asks a question that Andy reads.
Andy Reid?
Different Andy Reid. Andy reads. That's a verb, not Andy Reid. I hate the Chiefs, but I'll always love Andy.
Big Red.
Yeah, Big Red. But they bring up, you have a pattern of making men your identity. And it goes back to Jim Bellino when she used to call him her king.
Her king.
And she fucking like props the guy up for not changing a poopy diaper in his life, which by the way, any dad out there that's, I don't do the diapers, go fuck yourself. Okay. It's a different generation. Us dads these days, we care. We change poopy diapers. We want to be involved. I hate those dads. It's not a sticking point. It's not like, oh, good for me. So that's already out of the gate. I'm like, you're stupid. And then she goes to the below deck thing where she's making out with her fiance at the time. And it's like so love bomby and gross. Like, thanks for getting us here. I love you so much. And he's barely giving her the time of day. And everyone that's watched that episode, all they comment on is how cringy it was. And here you are with Johnny J doing the same thing. The crazier thing is Johnny J is saying the same shit to you that he said to Shannon. Every time that she makes a remark of like when he's in his confessional saying, if we can get through this, we can get through anything regarding like the negative attention. Shannon's like, he said the same fucking thing to me. Guarantee he did. He's got a script and he plays from a script every single time. But again, we get very specific and very objective about this whole thing, which is, I really like the route that they took because How is Shannon ruining John's reputation? Let's get into that. List how she's doing it, because we would all love to know. And she's like, by the loan thing and claiming that it wasn't a loan and her paying for things. Period.
Yep.
But she's got proof. That's her truth, and she has receipts to back it up. What
And also,
do you have?
that wouldn't be ruining his name if you didn't put him into the fucking spotlight. If he stayed out of the spotlight as he claimed that he wanted to do for all those years, nothing would be affecting him. He would just be dating Alexis. We would comment on how weird and incestuous the entire OC cast has been over the years, and we would laugh about it and then move on with our lives. We wouldn't think about Johnny J. We wouldn't be talking about him. Instead, you throw him back into the spotlight because that's where he wants to be. And all of these answers are just more and more bullshit. It doesn't matter. It's not that there's a loan. It's not that there's things that she paid for, that he paid for, whatever. It's because he's an asshole. That is what it is. That's all it is. That's all it's ever been. He's a huge asshole that we find out more about, that he doesn't support the women that he's with. He's fucking awful and he's toxic as hell.
He's a
and we all
leech.
hate him. And if he just went away, we wouldn't think about him anymore. It's as simple as that. That's all it is. Shannon's not doing anything vindictive to ruin his name. She's wouldn't
defending
talk about
herself.
It. Yeah.
I mean, I've asked this question all season long. Why did you come on the show, John? The only person that has defamed your name is yourself and your girlfriend.
Yep.
No one else has had to do anything. They just need to let you talk. Every time you guys talk, you dig this hole deeper and deeper. You've got the easiest job in the world. Just fucking vanish off the face of the earth, and no one would talk about you anymore.
Yep.
But you wanted to do this. Now you're dealing with the fallout. And you're putting it on Shannon, who everybody in the audience, 95% of the audience is rallied behind her. So you lost. And now of all times, don't go on confessionals to end the season so you can say your piece, because it's not landing. It's not working. We don't believe you, especially when your mouthpiece is Alexis Bellino.
Yep.
What a bad move. The whole thing is so stupid. But the fact that she can't hear some of this again and apply it and listen, right, shows you John's telling her one thing and she believes him, but it's not the truth. And this goes to the company. He sold a sliver of his company. He was the largest. And she keeps interjecting when Shannon knows more about John than you do. She was with him for 5 fucking years. All right. She knows more. They were more intimate. She understands more. She's seen behind the scenes. Okay. She says John sold a sliver of his company. Alexis interjects and goes, he was the largest owner. She's like, Jesus Christ. No, he wasn't. This just proves you don't know anything. Everyone else got 55 million and he got 5. That's a substantial difference. You know how much different 5 million is from 55 million?
How much?
50 more. That's a lot of millions. It's so much fucking money.
Thanks for that breakdown.
You're welcome. We do math here. But seriously, that's so significantly different and shows you how much less of a stake he had in this company. But I guarantee you, John told her, I'm the majority owner. And
she
I
just
sold a little piece. And she heard that and goes, my man's rich. He owns these big companies.
Do you think it's a matter of her just immediately, like, blindly agreeing and just assuming that he's telling her the truth? Or do you think that she's in the same space that Shannon was during that relationship, where she's scared to question him?
Right
now, I think it's blind faith, but
I think it's blind faith. And I think that, but again, the difference between Shannon and Alexis is Shannon's intelligent. Like she was 100% looking the other way and trying to rationalize.
Yeah.
Where I feel like Alexis is blind faith, because she's like, he wouldn't lie to me like that. Even though you're seeing a mirror image of your relationship across the room that got out. And look what happened upon her getting out. Look at the fallout that surrounds her because of this relationship. And yes, of course, her own doing with the DUI. I'm not going to take away from that. Like, that was her fault.
Right.
But look what happened. And she's giving you info. She's telling you that's a fucking lie, Alexis. I know for a fact how much she got. I was there. And Alexis is like, nuh-uh. Dude, she's trying to give you some warnings. They may be veiled in insults, but she's trying to let you know, like, hey, you're getting fucked here. And yet you're going to point the finger at me and blame all of your shortcomings and all of the woes on old Shannon Bedore. But meanwhile, you and Johnny J are your own worst enemies. But it gets back to the loan. And again, this was so hard for me to take notes on.
I know,
we
because we kept going back to the loan.
Yeah, they kept going back to the loan. We get to the loan, and it begs the question of, okay, well, he did present you with whatever the note is.
Loan terms, yeah.
Whatever. And this is the one part where Emily, all right, put on your lawyer hat for a second. Let's get lawyery with this whole thing. She's like, no, you can't retroactively give somebody notice of the loan. Like, that doesn't work that way. You gave her the money, and then you're like, oh shit, I need to cover my own ass. And you tried to retroactively give this notice. That doesn't work. Again, don't necessarily need a lawyer to explain that to me, but this is the one time where her lawyer hat, I'm like, okay, you can put that hat on for now. I'll listen. If you're going after Alexis, I'll listen to you be a lawyer. That moment it works. But we cut to John. Don't know why. I'm with you. Didn't need to see John. Didn't need the confessionals. I thought
it's fucking like 6 of them.
Again, it goes back to what we were talking about early in the season, where it's like, why do we keep doing this to Shannon, who's trying to get through a really difficult time in her life? She's literally about to break Gina's hand as these things are airing.
Yep.
She's that uncomfortable, and yet we keep putting her through it. But I will say, at the end of the day, I'm glad she was able to get through it, because all this did was further hammer nails in Alexis and John's coffin. Like, it did them no favor. Shannon comes out looking much better.
I love the idea that they thought that this was just going to like get their story out, and it's going to make John look like a good guy. Somebody's got to be able to tell my story. And this came about probably because Alexis was doing such a terrible job all season speaking for him. And he's like, you know what? I don't like the way that this is going. I need to get in there. Contact Bravo. Get your support person over here. We need to film a confessional where I'm going to be here. And I'm going to wear my Ferragamos. And I'm going to have my big ass cross. And I'm going to explain my side of the story. Well, John, you look even worse, buddy, because we already hate you. Now you're popping up on our screen. We didn't have a disclaimer in the beginning of the episode saying that he was going to pop up. I don't know how many times we have to ask for that. Hopefully never again, because I don't want to see him again. He pops up and tells the story from his side, from his point of view, thinking this is going to shed some light. It's going to provide some clarity to the audience that is clamoring for this. We want this to go away. You claim you want this to go away. Why are you on screen? Why are you talking about it? She's disparaging my name. I need to get ahead of this. No, dude, you're an asshole. Go away. This is making you look so much worse, because Alexis is sitting there uncomfortably agreeing with you, not getting a word in edgewise, which we watched all season. Alexis talks nonstop, and she will not shut up about Johnny J. She will not shut up about whatever the fuck she wants to talk about. She will interject into conversations that have nothing to do with her and make sure that you know what she's thinking. But here, she's quiet. We saw her on Watch What Happens Live. We know what kind of guy you are just based off of body language. We already know what kind of guy you are based off of your relationship with Shannon. So you doing this does not fucking further your point. It doesn't make you look like a good guy. It makes you look worse. How did you not see that? You seem like you're very calculated, for better or worse. How do you not understand that this is going to make you look so much worse for these fucking interviews?
Because he is self-important. He believes that he's above certain things, and people like that lose sight of the fact that this could turn out poorly. In his mind, he knows what he's doing, and it's not going to come out. If I have a chance to speak on my own behalf, it'll clear things up. But again, if you go to a confessional with a script, we are trained eyes in the Bravo sphere. I couldn't think of anything else. Trained detectives, if you will.
Sure.
We can spot this shit from a mile away. We know when things are overproduced. We know when things are pre-planned. We know when you write things down. And the way that he delivered it, what he said specifically, he 100% practiced this in the mirror. And he goes, she came to me in her time of need. I said to her, I know how volatile our relationship is. Even if you come to hate me, you have to pay me back. And with tears in her eyes, she said, I know, John. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Seriously. What are you doing? Did you read this off a teleprompter? Did you have a producer hold up a cue card for you so that you could deliver this dramatic scene?
Yes.
It's the same exact thing that we watched Alexis do when she kicked out Jen and Katie. Or there's the door, Shannon Bador. You idiots clearly sit at home every night and you have nothing to talk about because neither of you have any substance in your life. and you think about how you can get over on Shannon, how you can blackmail her out of $75,000, and you come up with quippy things to say for your confessionals to vindicate yourselves, and all you do is dig deeper, dig deeper. You clearly wrote this down. This does not land. This is not what you said to her. This is not how it went down. That's the thing that's so fucking funny, is if they presented it in a different way, you could convince me that this was a loan. Like, it's not that far-fetched to believe that it was given to her with the idea that she would pay him back. But because they're so clumsy in how they go about it, I don't believe it for a second. I believe that he gave her the money and then was like, fuck, she's not going to pay me back, and tried to dial it back in. And she was like, thanks, dude. That's what I believe happened. For you to then give this sob story and literally describe the scene with tears in her eyes. I will, John. Fuck you. It's so bad. And I'm so happy if she gets fired. I don't need this shit anymore. It's taking years off my life. I found gray hairs the other day, like way more than I've had. I'm blaming that on John. John's giving me grace, and I fucking hate that.
Yeah, but you know what, though? A touch of gray, it shows not only are you youthful with your energy, but you've got the experience that the others don't. So,
you know, I like that. And also, I'm not afraid of salt and pepper steel. I think salt and pepper steel is going to be a good look.
Yeah. I get a couple in my beard now and again.
I get one right here.
This one?
Yeah, it comes in and then I pluck it.
Oh.
Because it gets longer than the other ones. I wouldn't pluck it, so I don't care.
That might not be a gray hair. That might just be like something else.
Oh God, what?
Should I
WebMD it so it tells me I have like some crazy disease I've never heard of?
Some sort of like mutation. Like, you might want to just start checking for superpowers.
I will jump off my roof later. I'll let you know how it goes.
I was just going to suggest that. Yeah, jump off your roof. See what happens.
Yeah, I'll let you know. If I call you from the hospital, just show up. Yeah. But let's get back on track because we still have a lot to talk about. This doesn't help them at all either because we bring up the offer once again, and the NDC, I'm calling it, the non-disparagement clause. And this is where she gives the whole argument of, well, he didn't want to sign it during the season. She was still filming. She could say what she wants and he wouldn't be able to defend himself. It's like, no, thank you, lawyer Emily, once again. That's not how this works. If you sign it before the season, she can't talk about it during the season.
Even Andy got this one.
It's not fucking, my 8-year-old could get that. Like, that's not rocket science.
She's a lot smarter.
She's really smart. She's way smarter than we are.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real. But like a normal 8-year-old could get that.
Yep.
Like, it's not that far-fetched. Understandably so. You sign this thing, you can't talk shit. Great. Then we wouldn't have to talk about John the entire season, which, again, it wasn't a good storyline. There was a lot of good shit to talk about this season. That was not one of the things. It was actually more of a thorn in my side because I'm like, here we go again. I got to talk about fucking Johnny J. Here I go again, make another TikTok of me shitting on this guy. And don't get me wrong, we like to shit on people, and it's fun for us to shit on the dudes on these shows because so many of them are so deplorable. But it does reach a point where it's like, Jesus Christ, we're doing this again. We've talked about this same thing, I don't know, 5 times this episode. And here we are again, because it happens every scene. And Alexis is like, offer it again. We'll sign it. It's like, no. Absolutely not. Now you want to sign it because you're getting less money. You're getting 60K now instead of 75K because you fucked around and found out. And if you had, this is the best part to me, because John's always, he keeps saying, if this went to court, we would win. If that's true, John, you would take it to court.
Yep.
If you think you would win more money, you would go to court because you don't care. You want the money. That's all this is about. So don't say that because we've yet to see receipts. I've seen Shannon's receipts. Granted, they were scribbled down on a notepad, but they're still receipts. Yep. And I do believe that she doesn't know how to use Excel, so that is her best option. Yeah, she's not going to type it on a Word document either because it gets all messed up when you try to add things in.
Oh, yeah, no, they're trying to do columns on there. Yeah.
No, that's a nightmare. So, yeah, this seems like the most realistic approach for Shannon. But every time you bring this up, and then by bringing up, we'll offer it again, it's like you sound like you're guilty of something.
Yep.
You sound like you were trying to fuck around, and now you're finding out.
He wouldn't be doing this. He's not doing this because he wants Shannon to suffer. He's not doing this. He's doing this because he needs the money. He only got.
You're telling me that there's 2 days of the statute of limitations, 2 days before filming.
By the way, statute of limitations is like 7 years, from what I understand. So
2 days. That's so.
And it happens to coincide with when filming is beginning. Sure.
Get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, nobody believes this shit. It's all too specific. It's all too mishmash. Like, you just keep saying things. And because you both have discredited yourself so many times, No, I don't believe the statute of limitations is about to run out. And if you have proof, again, we are not the dudes that are going to discredit real proof. If we are presented with something, we will change our opinion and we'll say, I hate the fucking guy, but there was 2 days left. So he decided to do this. It's still a shady move, but whatever. Show the proof. You keep claiming there's this proof. Where is it? Post it on your story. Post it on your page.
Where's the pudding?
Where's the pudding? Okay. I need my
packs.
snack pack.
Yeah,
baby. We need our snack packs, and we've yet to get them. You can stay home and help me shave my armpits. Let's get to the videos, because that was a big sticking point this season. These potential videos that show Shannon potentially nearly running over one of John's daughters, which, yes, damning. But also, when we're talking about the grand scheme of the DUI, it does paint a pretty fucked up picture. I'm not going to lie about that. But does it change what happened that night? No, because she's paying for it, right? So all this does is further affect her road. Now, if you show the videos, I would imagine what we hear at the end of it, where Gina, again, I like how she's speaking. She's like, if that came out, you would take accountability. And that's where my head's at, where it's like, look, she's owned up to everything she's done. She's admitted it was terrible, admitted it was scary, admitted it was stupid. She went to her lawyer and said, I don't want to take this deal where it gets stricken from my record. All we can do is assume, based on what we're presented with, what we've been presented with is a Shannon that is taking accountability, despite what John says in his confession, where she's not taking any accountability. These videos don't further anything. It just furthers the fact that that was a really fucked up night and she made some really stupid decisions. She drove drunk. Who was standing in the way doesn't change what happened. Had she run over your daughter, she'd be paying for that. But we find out, based on what Heather and Tamra give us at the end of it, he didn't nearly run her over, because we heard the car crash. Okay, John hears the car crash, starts to go after her, says his daughter stepped in and goes, no, no, no. When the daughter ran out, she was already pulling away. So another lie once again. And not only a lie, but holy shit, you're going to claim that she nearly drunkenly drove over your daughter, potentially ending a life. And the counter to that is Tamra and Heather saying she watched her, she was already pulling off. Like, that is so wildly different and so gross and so fucked up for him to then say, if you want to see a monster, you can watch the videos. And for Alexis to say, if she's going to watch it, I have to be in the room. Why? You have nothing to do with
now
this.
Double down and say that those videos were never going to come out because they're not, like, then why were they brought up in the first place? If you're going to sit there and tell us that they're not going to come out because they're too bad and they're too damning for her, and we didn't want that to happen, I don't understand where you are. Like, we say this all the time, stand pat, pick a fucking side. If you're going to be an asshole and you're going to threaten to release those videos, then don't then say, I never planned on those videos coming out because they're too damning and I don't want to ruin that for her. What are you talking about, dude? You fucking had Alexis threaten these goddamn videos multiple times all season, to the point where she's telling all the other women in the group, and then it gets back to Shannon. Shannon has a full breakdown about it because she has to relive her worst night of her life. You're going to keep doing that, but now you're going to tell us that you never planned on them coming out. Talking about their existence is bad enough. How do you not get that? How do you not understand that? It's a threat within itself. Even if you don't want to use it and weaponize it as a threat, it's still a threat that they're there. Because now what? She has to walk on eggshells and hope that you don't have a bad day and release those fucking videos to TMZ. Like, that is what's going to happen. That's what happens when you talk about their existence. So you're still, again, not a good guy. Stop trying to tell us that you're a good guy. You shouldn't have even said that they fucking exist. I don't care if they're from a Ring camera. I don't care if your daughter was filming something. No matter what it was, you just fucking bury them if you don't want them to come out. Don't fucking bring them up. Don't have Alexis bring them up. It's very simple.
And Alexis wants to claim that was never the plan. I wasn't supposed to bring them up.
But that indicates that there's a plan, which is fucking annoying as itself. Yeah.
There was a plan, 1. 2, if you never thought about bringing them up, we saw you do it in multiple scenes from different days.
Yep.
So it's not like it was a one-off where you got all caught up in the moment, like, oh, these videos. It's like, no, this was multiple scenes across episodes where you brought the videos up. So that doesn't, like, they just constantly get caught in lies, and then they want us to believe all their bullshit with no proof.
Yep.
Again, show us the pudding. If you got pudding, give me the snack pack. Yeah.
Yeah. Chocolate.
And the worst possible defense when talking about the scenes where she brings up the videos, I didn't know I was being filmed. That's stupid. There's a camera there, even if it's in the car. What's the box on your back with the cord going to the microphone on the front of your shirt? It's a fucking microphone. You got mic'd up.
You're a TV star. How do you not think that there's a camera there?
You've been on TV for 15 years, Alexis. You should know there's a camera there. For her to play that card, I didn't know we were being filmed. I thought I was just talking to friends. You're talking to castmates with a microphone on and a camera present. What are you doing?
Even if one of the newbies made that claim on anything, we would still call it out and say that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. You saying it after being on this show for years, being on other reality TV shows, you know how this works. Don't do that. Don't act like we're stupid. We know you're stupid. Don't bring us down to your trenches. We don't want to be there.
We don't belong there. We're not, me and Shooter might be idiots, but we're not stupid.
Yeah.
Well, we get to post Alexis finally. And she's waiting in a dumpster to get picked up, as Emily points out. And, as they say, every trash can needs a lid, and it looks like Johnny J found his. Couldn't agree more. Well said. But Emily, who took a lot of strides forward, takes a few steps back for me because she brings Jen back into the picture. And she's like, well, you claim to not subscribe to mean girl behavior, but you're friends with Alexis. That's fair. How she brought it up, I didn't think was the best way to bring it up. It's fair in challenging that relationship to a certain extent.
Agree.
Like, hey, she's the meanest girl of them all, but you want to attack Tamra. And it is similar behavior, so I get it. And she's not wrong. I thought her approach could have been a little bit better, maybe, and that could be biased because she just had a
Emily
tough
or
reunion.
Jen?
Emily, yeah. Jen's explanation wasn't great.
No, Jen flopped really hard on this for me. I didn't really have a problem with Emily bringing this up, honestly, because I did think that it was within the same realm of things that we were already discussing. If Tamra had brought it up,
maybe it's a bias because she's just had a tough reunion. So
she did, yeah. It's very helpful that there's different parts to the reunion because I have a very short memory, and yeah, I do think that overall she didn't have a good reunion. Those first two episodes were pretty rough. She came back a lot in this episode, so maybe that's where I was looking at it from.
Okay,
because she
I'll come from there. Okay,
yeah, but again, I think what it comes down to is, and this isn't the right way to go about it, but Alexis was going after Shannon. Tamra was going after Jen. So Jen was defending herself, but then going back after Tamra. You need to be aware that if you're going to sit there and say, I hate the way that she was going after you, Shannon, then you shouldn't be going to dinner with her. You shouldn't be with Katie. Katie didn't really speak up much in this moment either. But, Katie just got eviscerated for like an hour, so I don't really blame her for that. But yeah, I think that Jen flopped pretty hard on this because you could tell that she wasn't making the connection. Like, how are these two things the same? And it's like, no, if you're going to go after Tamra, you should be going away from Alexis. You shouldn't
be standing by Alexis during this.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Because you're challenging her behind closed doors. Like, that doesn't do the same thing.
And you could, you can take the approach of, she didn't do anything to me. And I wanted to see, like, what else she was talking about when they go out with John to see where that was going. But, like, she's not going to do that because Jen's still going to tell the truth. I just think that she didn't make that connection. So she was very confused and she looked very confused and it came across that way. So yeah, it was a pretty big flop for me.
Whereas Katie, when she was presented with certain things, she's like, I understood why John didn't sign the non-disparagement clause. And Emily's like, well, you realize that would be at the beginning of the season. Nobody could talk about it. She's like, that's a good point. That's a good point. And then she just stops talking. So like she will take things in stride and be like, all right, yep, zip it. And I'm just going to sit here. But yeah, I agree with that. Again, maybe my bias was showing because it was a tough reunion for her. And if you're going to go after Tamra like that, Alexis was much worse. Sure. And you and Katie are palling around with her and going to dinner with her and John, which is weird. And like, you're asking John questions where you're like, I see, I'm doing my job. I'm sticking up for Shannon. It's like, what happened after that conversation? Did you guys have a good time and cheers and like have a fun night? Because that's not the same thing as challenging him. But that's pretty much it, other than, little wary of what happens at the end because Tamra sees an opportunity. And look, we said in the beginning there's a road back for everybody, and Tamra claims that she saw herself this season, claims to have not liked what she saw, claims to be going to therapy. I will give her this. Okay, I don't think that Shannon should jump back into this friendship. I really don't. I think it's a bad move. I think this is what Tamra does. But here, and this is for you too, Ryan. I will hold out on my reservations until next season. I'll give her that. Yeah, I'll see what happens before I start to shit on. That's fine. Until I see how it breaks down, I will hold off on judgment until next season. Unless something comes out in the media and I'm like, okay, see, told you so.
It's going to.
I am not. Whoa. I am not hopeful.
Does
okay,
the media,
I'm not
does
hopeful.
her podcast count as the media?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are
she
we the
says
media?
something stupid. I mean, we have been quoted in things.
That's
I don't
fun.
like that tie though. No, it's not. I think the media is full of shit.
We're full of shit, pal.
That's true. Yeah, we are idiots. We already did the 36 hours later, so we don't have to do that again. But yeah, I'm sad to see it all go, honestly. It was a great season. They had not one clunker. They did it. They put together a perfect
season.
Season.
What was it? 18 episodes?
18 plus 3.
No, I thought it was
no,
it's 20.
No, I think it was 20.
Look, to put it into perspective,
18 plus 3 is 21. Dude, my bad.
I know. I watched this on Saturday night.
Wow. Yep. That's a good Saturday night.
Yeah. I had a nice relaxing, got some dinner and then sat down and watched it. But look,
Dinner and Housewives is a lovely night.
I was looking forward to it and I'm sad to see it go.
I am too. They did it. I was not optimistic. Just because it had been so many good episodes. I was like, there's no way part 3, and we don't even like 3-part reunions. And each one landed.
I'll tell you right now, though, Salt Lake needs 3 parts right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Potomac
needs 3 parts.
No, I think Potomac only needs 2 parts, to be honest.
It depends on how crazy this.
Look, we're only like 7 episodes into that season, so who knows?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. So, look, we could keep doing this, but let's get to some questions and hear what you guys have to say. We'll answer. We'll do a good amount.
Yeah, we'll try to get to everybody. I'm sure there's going to be some duplicate questions here. This is actually a good point from Lem Vibes. Are we, the fans, idiots? Yes, we are. We rode for Shannon all season only for her to hug it out with Tamra. Yeah, I that one left a bad taste in my mouth. Look, again, we did say Tamra had a very good reunion in the sense that she really didn't interject herself and she didn't talk too much and she didn't do that annoying thing where she just starts screaming when she's defending herself. I just hate that Shannon went through all of that and all it took was Tamra to just say a couple of things during the John videos and while
she didn't even say anything. She just looked at her.
And it was just, I could tell by the look that you guys like, oh man, Shannon, sorry, but you need a spine, girl.
I don't know. To build on that from Liz Scarbs, Tamra and Shannon making up real or really a stretch? I do think it was a real makeup.
Yeah.
But it could be a stretch in the long run. From Ryan Stoneman 83, are you boys ready to put some respect on Tamra's name? Absolutely not. I said I would hold out judgment. That's not respect.
I still think
Ryan.
I still think she sucks.
Ooh, this is fun. Rank some of the bros' least favorite Brovmen. Johnny J, Lenny Hochstein, JT, Louis Sandoval, and Todd.
Wow. I need to pull that up because I need to read that list again. Okay. Johnny J is how are we ranking?
Are we going?
Is power ranking number 1 the worst or the best?
The worst.
Okay, then Johnny J is number 1. I'm gonna go honestly almost exactly in that order, but I'm gonna flip flop. I'm gonna go Johnny J, Lenny, Louis, Sandoval, JT, Todd.
Okay.
JT, I know just annoys me. He's a bit of a piece of shit, but in the realm of all of these guys, he's not as big of a piece of shit as Johnny J or Lenny or Louis.
I can challenge you on that. There's a clip of him that came out where he's getting into it with Miss Patricia.
Ooh,
he's going after Pat.
Well, I didn't see that yet, so I'm working with what I have.
That's fair, but yeah, it's not a don't you leave her alone, motherfucker.
Yeah,
you miserable little man. I'm gonna go Johnny J, Lenny, Louis, JT Sandoval Todd.
All right.
And this is also recency bias. If you ask
You're
us to
just,
bring
I know,
Sandoval.
you just feel bad that Schwartz and Sandy's is closing. That's why you weren't that harsh on Sandoval. But hey, if you want to have birthday parties or holiday parties, or
Get it
just
in now.
anything, come on over. You
No, I
wanna
said
have-
a lizard funeral.
Yeah, that was Schwartz, obviously. I guess he's moved on to lizards. From
Oh, is that
plants.
the progression? It goes
Yeah.
bugs, plants, lizards.
I guess.
Jesus Christ. From Eliza Vaughn 57. Will they ask Katie back? I think she deserves a season 2. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she'll be back. Yeah, I imagine that she would be back. From I'm just being frank, how did Gina's dress not ride up? I don't know. I have no idea. How am I supposed to know that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is Alexis a TV star? No.
Absolutely
Is
not.
Tamra genuine? No.
Probably not.
I just like the 3-parter to the question.
Yeah, it's fun. Let's do 2 more.
From It's the Riles, did John refuse the non-disparagement because he wanted confessional interviews?
Yeah.
I think it was a reaction to the season not going how they thought it was going to go. And that's him stepping in saying, I need confessionals so that I can tell my side of the story. I don't think that was a pre-plan, but it ended up being the
plan
plan.
unfolded.
Yeah.
From our boy Billy Big Deals. Alexis smarter than we give her credit. Feels like she's salt burning John and Shannon. Billy, look, man.
Salt burning as a verb is wild.
Salt burning is a crazy verb. And secondly, if you're falling for that, I question what big deals you're signing. No, she is not smarter than we give her credit. She didn't know what she was saying. She's spinning a big pretzel up there because she's going on what John told her, and she's also incapable of applying current situations to her logic. Like if she actually listened to Shannon and responded in turn, it would have done her some favors, but instead she constantly contradicted herself. She literally, I forgot to bring this up. She literally at one point says that Shannon is trying to bring the videos into it. Yeah. No, dude, you are. You brought the videos into it. So no, she's not. I'm sorry, but she's simply not that smart at all. And the last one here from, that's a tough name to say. Oh man, I wish we had a different one for the last one, but it's a good point. Keckles?
Keckles.
Queccles. Maybe, what's your name?
Queckles.
There's no, is it a Q with the silent U?
Queckles.
Quinn.
Cucles.
Okay, her name is Quinn. Queckles. Maybe that's it.
That's what we're going with.
I get stuck on things. From Keckles. No question. I just really hope we never have to see Alexis again. I'm pretty sure that's everybody. I have yet to hear of an Alexis fan. If you're out there, please let us know. And we will tell you to stop listening to us.
Yeah, Actually, don't tell us. Or do tell us, and we'll tell you to go away.
No, you know what? Don't tell anyone.
We will block you on Instagram.
It's like people that don't like dogs. Like, don't tell people that.
Yeah, don't tell people that.
Yeah.
No.
Don't tell people you're an Alexis fan. But yeah. That wraps us up here for RHOC for the season, and we're looking forward to next season. I'm curious when they'll pick up cameras. I would imagine not that long from now, just because it was a great year.
Probably when is Jen's wedding? Supposedly they're not doing like a big, huge thing, but I'm sure they'll probably still film it. So, and then Alexis's wedding, not that we give a shit, is sometime in the next 12 months.
Fuck, she's back. She's definitely back because they're gonna.
You think they'll dual wedding us? I hope not.
Wait, that just changed everything. Shit.
No, I don't think she's back.
You can't tell me people are going to tune in to watch John Jansen's wedding to Alexis Polino. You can't tell me that people aren't going to watch that.
Then they'll do a little Bravo special for it that I will not watch.
I hate all of that. All of those things suck.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, until next season,
we were the Brav Bros.
We were the Brav Bros. That was Bros and Shows. It does feel weird. It feels different. It's going to take some time. We're not changing just this second, but yeah.
Bros and Shows out of here.
Bros and Shows. Got to get me my bro. Oh, we got a new theme song at least. Hell yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, there we go. We have to sing it. Yeah. We'll get Ashley Darby to sing it.
Fuck yeah.
Actually, no, we won't. Out of here. We won't because.
What do you mean?
People will tune out immediately if they hear her singing it.
That's mean. That's fair.
It's fair. Yeah.
Fair, but mean.
It's not even her show right now. We're not even talking about Potomac. Anyway,
Yeah,
bye.
she still caught a stray. Bros are out of here. Bros and Joes.